Demystifying Anti Aging Medicine, narrated and produced by Tony Fatica, September 2018. Welcome to Demystifying Anti Aging Medicine presentation. We all heard of the story when Ponce de Leon set a sail from Spain to Florida in search for the Fountain of Youth in 1513. In those days, we had zero chance of turning back the clock of our age. It was only a dream at that time. But now it's vastly different in 2018. Some 500 years later in time. We have amassed far more intelligence and technologies since that time to provide us a realistic chance to finally achieve this great human endeavor. Alleviating pain and suffering by using knowledge and technology is what sets us apart as humans from animals, plants, and other living creatures. If we sit idle, not venturing out on this new frontier to alleviate more pain and more suffering, as we did when we eliminated infectious diseases, then we can't say we're human any longer. 100,000 people, mostly elderly, die every day from the multitude number of diseases that manifest in our bodies through the years. Just think for a moment, that's 1 million people every 10 days who suffer from aging and death. There are 7 to 9 hallmarks of biological aging. The solutions to these are already advancing rapidly, some already in clinical trials. Let me now explain the basics of how we biologically age that leads to inflammation of our tissues, dysfunction of our organs, multitude number of diseases, and eventually the pain and suffering of our loved ones dying. Now, let me discuss this in a little bit more detail. It starts with chronological age. Chronological age is a time order event. And biological age is a life order event. You can think of age, biological age, as the amount of garbage entropy. Amount of garbage entropy, age. Age is a metric of that, the amount of garbage through entropy. Now we'll get to that point about garbage in a little bit more later. All that causes diseases, which is a disorder of the structure or the function. So chronological age, the time event, leads through biological aging, the biological life order, which aging is a metric of the amount of garbage entropy, the amount of mutations that keep occurring, entropy, the event of things going out of disorder. It's a metric. Now, in the human body, there are 37 trillion cells. It's a lot of cells, and in those 37 trillion cells, there's 5 types of cells, basically. There's healthy cells, and those cells are mitotic cells that keep dividing. They rejuvenate. They reach programmed cell death called apoptosis and then rejuvenate. Those are the healthy cells that continue going on and on to keep us in good functioning order. And then, secondly, there's senescent cells. In our terms, we're more concerned about chronic senescent cells. Those are cells that linger on, that don't divide, that leach cytokines, proteins in the surrounding tissue, that call in the macrophages and the immune system to attack, which leaves inflammation in the tissue, which is no good. On the other hand, acute senescent cells are good. They actually help heal wounds and kill off cancer cells. But the chronic senescent cells is the no good type of cells that we're really worried about. Then there are missing cells. Those missing cells occur through life, and that's usually through the thymus involution, where the stem cell bank in our body continues to dwindle. And when that occurs, cells continue to lose muscle mass in our body. The other type of cells are cancer cells. Those are uncontrollable dividing mutated cells. They don't stop dividing due to an ongoing supply of telomerase, similar to stem cells. But these are no good cells. They divide uncontrollably with no end in sight, and that's why when there's cancer prevalent, they'll start packing in one area and growing into tumors because they're growing uncontrollably. There's sticky cells. Those sticky cells, those are cells that stick and bind up to other fibers and vessels in our arteries, and when they bind and cross-link, it puts pressure on the organs and prevents them from functioning properly. So those are the 5 types of cells that we have in our 37 trillion cells of body: healthy cells, senescent cells, missing cells, cancer cells, and sticky cells. So that's pretty much it. I take this time to answer 4 questions. First question we have from the audience is, isn't aging and disease 2 separate things? Well, actually, no. They are both highly correlated. In most cases, you must biologically age in order to develop a disease. And exceptions can be from genetic problems that we talked about earlier through progeria and other types of cancer. But in most parts, they're highly correlated. You can't have a disease unless you biologically age. So if you don't biologically age, You don't have a disease, again, except for genetic problems, but those are cured through gene therapies, CRISPR gene therapies, zinc tools, zinc fingers. So again, in most cases, you must biologically age in order to have a disease, for it to manifest. You can't have a disease unless you biologically age. So if you medically control biologically aging by repairing the molecular damage faster than it occurs, well, you don't biologically age, and therefore you don't have a disease where it manifests into. The second question that we have from the audience is, if I live to 150, won't I be living for a long time in an old, sick body? Well, the answer is no. You'll have more healthy cells when age rejuvenation therapies hit the market, which some are already in clinical trials. So no, you won't. You'll be 150 years old chronologically, but biologically, through medical intervention and control of aging and repair of the molecular damage, they can keep you in good working order like you were a 20-year-old. So even though chronologically you were born 150 years ago, biologically the life order is kept in order by repairing and pulling out the other bad cells, keeping more healthy cells in you. And when you have those healthy cells in you, it heals your body. The unique nature of our body through mitosis heals things. That's why if you get a cut on your hand or knee, you can see it heal after a few days, and that's through mitosis. Your body will actually, those cells will go in there and heal itself. It'll divide, new cells will come in there, and it'll heal it. So the same thing, we take out the molecular damage cells through senescent cells or cancer cells or missing cells or sticky cells, and what happens through mitosis, things get healed and your biological age is now in a good healthy metric. So when you're 150 chronologically, you won't be sick in an old body. You'll be healthy in a good body. You'll just be chronologically older, but biologically you're like 20. The next question that we have is, isn't aging a natural phenomenon that we shouldn't tamper with? Well, biological aging is a natural phenomenon, but so is garbage that accumulates in your house after you eat meals or you go to the restaurant. There's dishes and plates and packaging and garbage that is accumulating. Now, you clean that mess up. I can't see of too many people eating the meal and just leaving the food there, the leftover foods there, the packaging, and not cleaning up. What would happen? You couldn't live in that area anymore. But that's natural. You eat it, it's there. But what you do is you take your knowledge and you take your technology and your energy to fix that by repairing that, by washing the dishes, by throwing out the garbage that is no good. So yeah, a natural phenomenon after you eat is that you'll have residue, leftovers there. But through your knowledge and through technology, you clean those things up. You have technology, you send the garbage through the garbage disposal so those things don't build up. We're using our technology and knowledge to help the natural phenomenon that occurs through entropy. So just because it exists, and which it does exist, what makes us again different from animals and from plants is that humans have the intelligence to interact in that natural phenomenon where it hasn't been able to do it by itself and be able to take hold and repair and clean that area so it's in good working order again. If you clean your house and you clean up the mess, it's going to stay a lot longer. Same as your car. If you change your oil in your car, you know, it's a natural phenomenon that your engine has small little medical particles that build up in your oil after miles and miles. That's a natural phenomenon through physics, because of moving parts. But what do? We intervene with our knowledge and our technology to clean that oil every 3,000, 5,000, or 10,000 miles now, so it could last longer. So intervening into a natural phenomenon is good because we have intelligence to do so. That's what separates us out from animals and plants. The last question here for today is, will these therapies only be for the rich who can afford it? Well, prices will drop quickly for several reasons. One is heavy world demand. Second is competition, and other increasing technology and knowledge to improve efficiency and effectiveness will drive down the cost. These products and age rejuvenation, the whole world will want. Everybody will want to feel healthy and happy. Not too many people raise their hand when asked, do you want to live in pain and suffering? No, because the demand by everybody on the planet will want this. This isn't a select thing where someone only wants to drive a car or ride a bicycle or have a certain product. Everybody will want this product. Everyone. Because no one wants to have pain or suffering. So, because the demand of the world of 7.5 billion people and climbing will want this product, it will drive down demand very quickly, because everywhere on the world, every country will be scrambling once this comes out to push very hard to become the next new leader in the biotech world to deliver these products. There's a fortune out there for investors who can capitalize on this, not only financially, but by health. And so this is going to be the largest product the world has ever seen, as soon as it starts becoming known to people in the masses. So when the competition is fierce, it will drive prices down very quickly. So the rich won't it won't be a product where the rich only can afford it. Everyone will be able to afford it. Well, thank you for your time and patience. I encourage you all to make a difference in this world by sharing this with your friends and family. Please remember that we're all humans, and we should all use that special ability to reduce pain and suffering in the world. This is the greatest endeavor one can achieve. That's it. Thank you for your time.